Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for bearing with us here today. Um, we'll explain when we get into this. I would say right now, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that. But I just got home literally 5 minutes ago. So it's been a very long day for me. Sean did prepare something. So, like he said, and like you guys know from me, the show must go on. Well, we're going to go on. I don't know what it's going to be about. We're going to see what just organically happens. So it might be very inclusive of you guys tonight. Um, but also Sean has some topics and we'll see where things go right on the other side.
Well, midnight headlight, blindly on a rain night, steep grade up ahead, slow me down and making no time. I gotta keep it rolling. Those windshield wipers slapping out the tempo, break the broken rhythm with the song on the radio. I gotta keep it rolling. Ooh, I'm driving my life away.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night Gig App Worker Live, where we talk about kind of everything and things you guys want to. And tonight be a perfect example of that. Put it in the chat. We'll bring it up. Sean and I are pretty good at like on the fly talking about an issue, and this would be the perfect night to do it. But welcome, and hey, Sean, welcome, and thank you to Sean for covering some of this because you guys normally I mean I've been very busy lately as most of you know, but I normally get the rundown at least prepared with the topics, and then I dig into them more. But I had nothing done, so I asked Sean, can you put something together? He watches my podcast, I watch his, so we're on the same page about a lot of things. And as you know, all the podcasts always end up being awesome anyway. So smack that like, kick back, have a beer, relax, do what you got to do. And what's up, everybody in the chat? What's up, Twitter? Remember on Twitter, guys, on X, whatever you want to call it. I'll probably call it Twitter the rest of my life. Just double tap the live and then tap it one more time and a comment box comes up. And we will see that comment on the StreamYard. And then everybody else will see it right here. So there we go with that. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Sue. First of all, let me address this before I hand it over to Sean. Thank you, Sue, for this. Guys, there is a channel member coming, but please hold off until tomorrow. YouTube dropped the ball. Shocker. But they launched something in not the right way. And I've dealt with this before. Normally I have to okay things. And I didn't have to okay this. It just went live. And I was like, no. And this is exactly why. So, and now I changed it, fixed it. It's being reviewed. But I also said this one, just take it off and delete it and it won't. Like as of right now, you could still join too. Please don't though, because I don't know what that'll do to you. And I don't want to see anybody get charged. It was set at a very low number. So Sue will be taken care of, but like probably as of the next time I'm like on the podcast on Monday for sure, you'll be able to member join and it will be correct. There is going to be a lot of things about members, and I'll talk about that on Monday and next week. And thank you, Derek Ryder, and everybody who's here as well. But thank you, Derek, for that. That's huge, guy, and I really love that. Derek, as you guys know, if you don't know, Derek is I don't get a lot of time to say this often. Derek is a independent owner operated truck driver who has done gig work on the side. I've known him since Tom Kelly and I did the radio show years ago. He was calling in to get advice on things and whatnot, but he lives in California, and Derek, feel free to correct me on anything, but he now lives, he still does his work in California, but he's left and he lives in Reno, and he hates Reno. As far as I know, he hates Reno, but he moved there just to be able to have a mailbox to say that he's an independent contractor trucker, because yes, there are ways, but you can't do it in California anymore. So he still has all the clients, but he can't live there anymore. Pretty pathetic. So Derek, cheers. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, bro. And hi to everybody else, and Sean, and what's good? What are we gonna start off with here tonight?
Man, I'm going to tell you, I can't wait until you go over through my favorite topic that you're really attached to now is World Midget Wrestling. And I really want you to dive into this one deep, Steve. So we're looking forward to that one coming
Like
in a little
midget
bit later.
tossing?
Well, hey, they had one of those down here not too long ago. And
Dude, they had that oddly, they had that in Vegas when I had my bachelor party in 2000.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think
I mean, we didn't go to it, guys, but I was definitely there was a pimp on one of the skywalks trying to talk me into it. So
hitting you with the cards, say go get it. Well,
yeah,
anyway,
but he wasn't
no,
one of those. He was like the hose were on the bridge too, and
Yeah.
he was like a pimp watching his hose, and we just didn't interact with any of them. Kept walking, and then as I passed him, he's
Right.
like, "I got other things going on too." I was like, "What you got going on?"
Yeah, you do.
And if you say what you got going on in Vegas, that could be a very loaded answer.
And a very wide open door, right? That you don't want to go down. So anyway, no, we're not gonna put you in that corner tonight. So but yeah, it'll give you a little time to look through some show notes of stuff that I threw together, and let's go over some legislative updates. I know it's really boring and dry, but so I'm going to try and keep this really, really quick. But there was a lot of stuff that happened in Colorado. Some stuff got vetoed, some stuff got passed, and what is that going to look like for the rest of the world, particularly in the United States? As we say, it's going to come on. So the rideshare safety bill, that one passed. The governor signed it, and it's going in. The funny thing is, Uber and Lyft are already in compliance with 99% of it, guys, other than they now got to do background checks every 6 months. Everything else are already in compliance on. And who knows if it's going to be something that, with the whole dash cam, some people think, well, now I'm not going to be able to have my dash cam. Whatever. Let's just see where all this stuff goes, because there was some loosely worded language because this thing was pushed through.
Why don't we do this? Let's back it up a little bit for people that don't watch every week. What happened?
Fair enough. So we had the rideshare safety bill. It was originally introduced in 2024 by Jenny Wilford. She was a freshman House of Representatives out of Adams County, and she put this bill together because of a
Wilford
reported
Brimley?
sexual assault.
She's Broomfield, right?
And he has diabetes, but that's a different Wilford. That Wilford Brimley, not Jennifer Wilford.
Right, but Jennifer's from Broomfield, isn't she? Is that Adams County? Okay.
I think she was actually the mayor pro tem, whatever, the assistant mayor in Wheat Ridge for a while.
Okay, Wheat Ridge, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Adams County is, some of Broomfield's in part of Adams County, some part of Boulder County, I believe, too. But I think that's
for those that don't know the geography between Denver and Boulder. It's really strange how like Westminster, Broomfield, and Wheat Ridge and Arvada, it's really weird how they're laid out. It's not like just one goes into the next. It's like they all make S's and squiggly lines, right. And they're not straight areas.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that she brought it, introduced it, it went through, got passed. The governor vetoed it, hard veto. He was not letting his tech bros get affected by a lot of the ridiculous things that were going on. And so move fast forward to this year, she reintroduced a softer bill. And then as it went on and went on and went on, it just kept getting softer and softer to the point where, Uber and Lyft were lobbying this so heavily, you knew what was going to happen. And Co-op, interestingly enough, was lobbying as well, and they got a win because they don't even have to be in Drivers Co-op Colorado don't even have to be in compliance with this bill because they're not big enough. So you have to have like 20,000 rides a month now for you to be compliant. So how's this making rideshare safer for passengers when every rideshare company in Colorado is not even impacted by it? So it's a bunch of fluff.
You know what else that means too? I mean, like who knows what it means in the big picture, but it does mean that Waymo will fly under the.
Yep.
I mean, it better not. They better treat that very differently. A lot. If you guys know, we talk about this all the time here on the show, and Waymo isn't having easy roads anymore. Waymo is having a fight everywhere they are, and they're not the normal fights where just money solves it. It's like your ass might get kicked out. I do think a wave is happening where some reality is coming to some people. Like, this is bullshit, and we shouldn't have these on the streets.
Well, it's kind of interesting. We're going to talk about the cyber taxis in a little bit. As you know, I saw one in Colorado Springs yesterday, so we'll dig into that. But let's keep moving forward on the legislative stuff right now. So we got that the rideshare bill, that one ended up passing, and so there we go. Whatever. We'll see what happens if it gets. I would like to see them expand on it, and make it truly safer for both passengers and drivers. So we'll see what happens next year. See if we can get some support in that. The discriminatory practices bill, again, mirrors ADA. Whatever. They just want to put some additional laws on the books. That one passed, got signed by the governor. Okay, moving on. So that'll be probably the end of hearing about those two, at least for this summer, until they begin another legislative session.
But what do you think is going to happen with this?
With the rideshare safety bill?
Yeah.
I don't think anything, unless someone like me makes a whole lot of noise to try and make an actual improvement for driver safety.
No, I'm just saying, do you even, here's my question. Do you think Lyft or Uber, let's stick with it. Do you think Uber will even be compliant?
Well, they're already compliant. The only thing they have to change is doing background checks every 6 months. And the other thing is that they have to share information now about people that are deactivated. So if you're deactivated on Uber or Lyft currently, that's what I want to see. What's going to happen? Are we going to have a fleecing of all the drivers that have been deactivated on one platform but still operating on another one? That could happen.
So I can tell you from legislators I talked to here in this state, that was done straight up for the illegals. Even the left was on board with it. That was done because if an illegal gets caught, it's actually, to me, it's a good thing. We'll see it play out. But to me, it's a great thing because if an illegal gets caught on a platform, he's going to be kicked off all.
And correct. And why do you think some of these smaller TNCs are not having to comply? Where are they all going to flock to?
I don't know. I mean, were they on the co-op, the illegals? I don't know.
I have no evidence of that, but I will tell you that there's some strong belief that there is. And even there was a comment by CIDU to a driver that I know that says, go drive for the co-op because they don't have as tight of standards as Uber and Lyft to onboard. That came directly from CIDU, who's now the representative for the drivers and supporting the drivers. This is all just about, as you call it, suitcases of money, Steve.
Yeah.
And so, now nothing's really going to change. We'll see what happens. Do we have a large exodus of drivers? No, they'll just onboard more, or they'll go get new illegal accounts or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the sad thing about it.
But I do think, I mean, like when you look at the positive side of it, I do think there is that positive side. I do think that part of that is to have a database of, as much as I hate to say it, our state is allowed way too much with the illegals. Like, we're one of the worst. And now even left and right are coming together before the midterms to say we need to deal with this, and kicking them off one just to go to Spark or another isn't going to do it. So to have some kind of database to go, nope, he got banned, or that account got banned because that account might belong to somebody who doesn't even know it's being used, that's never signed up.
Right. And it's now a misdemeanor to use somebody else's account or use a stolen or illegal account. Why they didn't make it a felony is beyond me, but
It would have been a
whatever.
misdemeanor before, if not a felony. It would have been based on the amount
I
because
know,
it's
because it's
fraud.
fraud.
So it depends on who
Yes,
catches you.
it's still, I mean, if it's over $600, it's fraud because you're stealing money from yeah, and defrauding the government. So yeah, I mean, it's still a felony in most cases anyway. So again, this is what a whole bunch of this legislative stuff was. It was just a bunch of fluff and, to
Yeah.
hopefully make some of the ridiculous noise go away. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything of substance that I'm proud to say, yes, we have a safer environment for drivers and passengers in Colorado.
I also have to wonder if they're wanting to, if part of this is wanting to have more people challenge their deactivations too.
Potentially.
Colorado seems to have
Uh,
a weird approach to some things, like the ones that we got vested in and really pushed for transparency and this things and this, that, and the other worked, but it worked because we beat down the doors and we explained it fully. Again, 2 checker background checks a year is nothing. I mean, you
Right.
could do 10, it doesn't matter. None of them are
No.
good.
No.
So, I mean, unless you're going to go, why didn't they just move it to let's keep it as one and it has to be a fingerprint? I mean, they literally won't take the right step on this one.
Right. If they won't do fingerprinting and if they won't e-verify, prove that their fingerprints match up with somebody's birth certificate and social security number and everything, all those things come together and match up. Until they start doing stuff like that, it's still going to be as dangerous and sketchy as
But I
they
gotta
think it
think,
is.
again, the midterms are coming up. I have to think that a lot of this are the businesses, not the businesses like in Boulder leaving the platform, like Big Red F and stuff, and
Right.
other ones around the country too. But I have to think it's partially that because I go into a lot of restaurants, working catering and other things, and a lot of places have signs up, and those signs start in Spanish and end in English, but they say the same thing: do not put a phone in our staff's
Right.
face. Do not be on speakerphone in our lobby. And oddly, the third one: do not lean on our counters. That's a pretty common thing to see in every restaurant here in Denver now.
That's crazy.
So that tells me, and I've talked to owners of places, that tells me that they're more than aware that these illegals are on the platform. They've had it.
Right. And maybe
So
that,
again,
and
maybe this is a trap
that's
for that. I have to think it is.
and maybe that's the gateway to start improving all of this, not just from because that's the other piece of this, Steve, is it didn't even affect anything delivery wise. It's not making any improvements on that. So the already flooded delivery market is going to be now even flooded more because of these changes in the rideshare side of it.
Yeah.
So they can't drive people around, but they can deliver their food and do God only knows what to it. We've seen enough of those freaking videos. I don't want to see any more of them. I know, no, you don't. And
No.
so now so they're just transferring one problem elsewhere. And so we've got to get ahead of this. And Steve, I think you hit it. Maybe we start, trying to work with from the food delivery side, from the merchants, and start getting some legislative, and then cross it back over into the rideshare world, with verification and to make deliveries safer, both for the delivery worker and even the food recipient. If I'm delivering somebody's food, I want to know that they're not some crazed crackhead, and that they're a good model citizen. Why shouldn't I be able to be safe delivering somebody's food?
No, I fully agree with you. I think that the restaurants have seen it. And I know this for a fact. I mean, just out of the sample size I've talked to, customers who use these platforms are no longer, even if they put leave at door, they're still watching out their windows and stuff, or they're trying
Right.
to. They might miss one or two, but they're definitely seeing, okay, it's supposed to be a white woman. Why is it a Hispanic male?
Right.
I mean, like Uber can't even fix that. They don't even try. They're just like whatever, and they're letting it go.
Well,
And over half the people in Denver, I mean, a lot of people will say way more, and I probably would be in that too, but at least more than half are not who they say they are in the app.
right. So
That's
Rick has a
really
comment
sad.
here. Yeah. See, and that's the problem with it when you get these false deactivations, and I assume that that's what he's either related to or something, some just stupid administrative thing, like a guy that I'm working with right now, still trying to push through to get him reactivated. And as you know, Steve, I've been deactivated on both platforms and survived it. But what happened if that didn't happen on one of them? Then all of a sudden I become ineligible on both of them. And there's a lot of drivers.
But there's a lot of gray area. Do you, or do they look into it? Again, I think they're going for the illegal accounts. I don't think they care if Sean's on Uber and Lyft and Sean got a complaint on Uber and he's no longer on it.
It specifically says that if you're not that if they've been deactivated on one platform, then they're not eligible to drive on the other. Meaning Uber and Lyft, again,
not food delivery,
Harvard,
not the other,
not co-op,
but I mean, not B2B, none of the other apps. This is just a rideshare thing, you guys, and that's still a big deal.
And it only affects 2 of the companies. And believe me, there's a whole lot
but that's
of
a whole
non-emergency
group of people that we deal with.
But dude, there's a huge number of the NEMT, non-emergency medical transport, that they are small. They don't have 20,000 rides a month. They'll never be impacted. And believe me, there's illegals there too. And they're staying away from that one being addressed. That's a whole nother monster we've never even talked about that we need to talk about sometime, Steve, is the little dark world of the Medicaid and Medicare transport services that are out there. And that's a monster of its own, and a lot of fraud that's going on with it. So
medical courier can be good work, but I've said this many times. There's only like 1 out of 10 companies that you're looking at are actually worth investigating into.
Legit, right?
You got to be very, very careful. In fact, like a lot of good apps that we like even might have a 2-star rating, let's say, in the App Store. That's not always a sign of a bad thing, but a lot of these medical ones have a 1-star, and there's a reason for it. They're like literally doing some super sketchy stuff, or they're having you do it actually.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. They're having the delivery person do that stuff, and that.
But I know people who do medical courier too, and there is some money to be made. There are some good companies,
and there's some good ones that are out there too.
Yeah,
and they do pay better than a lot of the other delivery stuff, and should be for a reason. But again, a lot of those, when you're taking grandma's meds to her, you need to make sure that they're getting there to her. So that does deserve a higher level of pay than delivering 3 cases of water up 4 flights of stairs to somebody's apartment. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on with that. Real quickly, there was 2 more that got vetoed. The surveillance pricing, which was the one talking about using algorithms. But the governor made a weird little comment about why he vetoed it, saying instead of specifically defining and targeting unethical conduct and practices, the bill takes a broader approach to capture any technology that incidentally influences a price or wage amount. What the hell? Yeah, that's the exact purpose. That was the exact purpose of this, of this bill. Now.
Well, again, I know about what we're talking about here, but again, when I just heard you say that, the only thing I'm thinking in my head is our governor's a jackass to begin with. I mean, he's wrong. Like our mayor of Denver is way worse, but the governor of this state sucks. And he makes some, and he's definitely a scumbag. He practices scumbaggery. He's in the pockets of people. He can be bought, sold, rented.
This is a perfect example of it.
Yeah. And I mean, all I'm hearing when I heard you say that is Waymo.
well, not just Waymo, but Uber and Lyft too. I mean, all the tech bros,
Right, but I think
and then
I think he has like some. I'm guessing he has some major interest in Waymo because like
that's a great,
he ditched his interest with DoorDash. He had to because they were giving him
right.
so much crap. He's not taking $1 from DoorDash for anything he does.
Well,
And
and you lose your ass
take a
as an
lot. He used to
investor.
take a lot though.
Yeah.
So now
So
it's like, is he just earning less? No, I think he's in bed with Waymo now.
yeah, and
And
maybe
by
even
the way,
Tesla.
the Waymo thing, don't get fooled, people. Like, yes, they're really pushing in some states because some states are ready to kick their ass right out, like they should. They're pretty damn close. Like even the
Yes.
legislators, like I'm talking to people who, even the things I've said, they're finally seeing it for themselves, and they're like, you know what? They're like, we need to get these assholes out of here. Serve Robotics, Waymo, leave. And I honestly think they're viewing Colorado as one of the states where they might have a fight and be able to stay. Our people don't want them either. I mean,
Most
it's
people
amazing.
don't.
I see it when I'm out and about. I'm not the only one who's hating on the Waymos when I'm driving. And I'm sure it's not just other rideshare drivers. If I'm downtown and I see one, everybody's trying to cut them off and stop. And I think they're like rear end me, Waymo.
I got a video from last night that was sent to me this morning from someone, and it was Waymo here in Colorado, and what this safety driver was doing, I don't know whether just do a video on it or to hold it until my podcast for Tuesday, but this is exactly why these freaking things, the guy sent the video to me and said, I saw the video, and then he says, and these are the idiots that are supposed to be training this technology. And that's exactly it. When you see what's going on, you're going to be like, what in the hell? I mean, it's not crazy absurd, but it shows how, much of a problem this thing is with Waymo, and they're apparently just hiring anyone and people in the Philippines to deal with it. So yeah, I think we've got to keep getting this message out, and it's still coming, man, but they're getting close to pulling the plug on some places. I see it happening. So
yeah.
So anyway, yeah, the algorithm pricing thing went away. I'm still kind of, again, there was a lot of ambiguous language, and I think that really was the problem. And maybe that's what Polis was trying to hit on. But really, he just said, well, because it might influence people's pricing, yeah, that's exactly what these algorithms are built for, is to influence the price or wage amount of what people either get paid or are paying. So anyway, he vetoed it. We'll see what happens next session. I think we'll see another version of it. I don't think that one's going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
Yeah.
but we'll also see. I mean, like these are things where we'll see when they, whatever their date is, because even the things that did pass, like the transparency, even that did pass, it got, like Uber agreed to it in June. It went into effect in January, and Uber still said, well, wait a minute. Whoa. We're not going to do that. And the same judge had it. And he was like, no. I said this specifically to you. You're not going to pull that shit. No. And he actually denied their hearing even. He's like, no, we had that hearing in June. And I told you, this is the date. You're going to do it or else get the hell out. Right. So it wasn't an Uber threatening to leave the state. It was him saying, get the fuck out.
And, and Uber's going to do what Uber does. They don't care. I mean, they're not Alphabet big. They're not Tesla big, but they're big. They will do whatever they want to do, come into the day at whatever expense. They're not worried about the consequences of it. They feel they're above approach, and in many ways they are, because they just deliver a suitcase of money and things go away.
Yeah. I see you, Donna.
So here's yeah. So, but look, Uber's got their spin doctors in marketing to go, Now they're claiming they're doing background checks as part of a safety campaign. So yeah, the spin doctors are at work at Uber already, running ads going, "Oh yeah, we're doing this to make your world a better and safer place." And meanwhile, it's the same shitty database that we've always had. So
Absolutely. I mean,
anyway,
and again, everything's always, it'll be funny when it goes into effect, like what Uber does, because Uber is known to go, when they go, hey, it's time to put this in action, and they just go, oh yeah, did we not tell you to fuck off? Well, we meant to tell you to
right.
fuck
Oh,
off.
I'm
We're just
sorry.
not. We're gonna stay here. We're
Yeah.
gonna do what we do, and you can go fuck
Right.
yourself. They're known to do that.
Absolutely. And I know that was where you were going when you asked that question, a while ago. Will they, if they need to? Absolutely. I don't think they need to, though. I think this thing was so, because when it went for its final approval, the rideshare safety bill, Wilford was up there, doing her last little march about how wonderful it was, and she made a comment. It was a little Freudian, saying, well, because they had some minor detail changes. She said, well, there were some changes in this that are, they were non-material, meaning they didn't really change the law. It was just kind of cleaning up some language in there. And they said it came from the governor's office. So that was a cue right there that the governor was going to go for the transportation, rideshare safety bill, whatever they're calling it now. The very watered down version of it. It was well known he was going to sign that one. So Uber and Lyft had their opportunity, put all their influence into it. They were lobbying the crap out of this. Every time there was public opinion, they had their lobbyists in there making their comments. So that's where we're at with it. The last thing that I have, Steve, this one snuck by you and I both. There was actually a bill, and I didn't dig into it, but there was a bill that was proposed and it passed about making it easier for Colorado guys. So he vetoed that one. Thank goodness. Thank God he did something right, Steve. Can you believe I even said that? But he did something right. He vetoed the bill that would make it easier for unions to organize. So we got lucky on that one, guys.
I mean, look,
That's what I got
you
right
have
there.
to worry about where you live, even if like you live in the most blue state that there is, run by the complete insane people. You still have to, and again, I'm not saying it has to be right or left, but when you go to, I always say this, when you go to extreme of either, you're screwed. Both of them, extreme right or extreme left, they both have their problems that pretty much equal out. Even if some people want to go, well, no, the left's more, no, they're both that screwed once you go that far. And I honestly think that if you see anything about unionization, you are literally your elected officials are stupid. Like they probably can't pass an IQ test on any level.
Right.
It would make sense. Like, why are you there? Like it's scary to me because Massachusetts and California, I get why they would do it because they're run by shitheads. Both of them, Maura Healey's a complete piece of dog shit. Newsom's a complete piece of dog shit. Right. Michelle or Wu, the new mayor of Boston, she's a complete shithead that does whatever Maura Healey tells her to. So these people are insane. Right. I don't know what their long picture is, but wow, are they stupid?
Right. Now, before we go into our other episode, that title, the headline of it has a small error, and it wasn't a tip jar. Just so you know, before we move on to that one. But yeah, so that's where we're at in the world of politics right now, man. It's a hot mess. It's always a
yeah. I just had a little StreamYard hiccup there, but I think it's corrected. Sean oh no, he's good. Oh no, there he is. Okay, so what are we moving into next here? Do you have anything
So
specific,
next
or what should I
one, and
pull
I
up?
I don't know if you know about this one, Steve. So the very next one on that Grubhub delivery driver that stole the money out of the cancer research yard. Did you see that one?
Yeah, Jesus, dude.
Yeah, what do you think about that, man? I mean, come on. I mean, Grubhub's on its last leg as it is, and then they get this guy.
I don't know. I see articles like that often though, where people are like taken out of the tip jar while somebody
Well,
else is waiting,
right.
or while the person's going back to check on
That's
their
why when
food,
it
and they're like, "Hmm?"
yeah,
It's
there
like,
was one that
dumbass.
happened
Most
over
places
Memorial.
have cameras. Most places are recording you doing that.
So so what does that tell you about where we're at? Okay, so and that's why I put tip jar, because there was one that happened over Memorial Day weekend where this gal, she worked a 12-hour shift, had a couple $100 in there, and then this clown goes and steals the money, caught on camera. And then like we had this one out of New Jersey. Nice people there, Bubba Sue. Just kidding. Go run them down and catch them. The cops did catch this person, and he is being charged with theft charges. But so is this because of the economic times that we're in? Is this the people that are onboarding? Is it a combination of both? What do you think, Steve? I mean,
I don't know. I honestly, I think that nothing else matters until they get the illegals under check. And I mean, we hit on that a lot. Some people don't want to hear about it, but it is fact now. It's fact universally. Every state
right,
now, even the states that were like, it's not happening here, they knew it was happening there. They didn't know to what level. They didn't want to talk about it. But every state,
right.
guys, I talked to legislators about what's going to happen by November, and now all of them, every state is going, we have illegals and we need to deal with this. Even your left that was like saying we don't have any, they're now saying it's a big problem. Of course, it's coming up now because it's June, and in what is it, 4 or 5 months, we have the midterms.
Midterms, right.
So they literally, these are people that I was even telling everybody this, that these people are, if they fuck around this time, it's going to be an FAFO. They're going to find out, because they're not going to get reelected, because it's not only just hurting the drivers anymore, which they could kind of deal with because they knew, well, we got the illegals, no problem. Now it's hurting the customers are watching illegals deliver their food. They see it all the time. One of the first things in Colorado, if you use like Uber to deliver food, one of the first things that the AI does when you open it up is it gives you 5 options, or 6, and one is other. But out of them, one is wrong person delivering food, and they added one into that initial 5. That initial 5 before other means it's the FAQs. It's the most frequently asked or complaints, FACs.
Right.
And so now they added in, and it didn't used to be there, expired paper license plate. What the hell, dude? That tells me Uber knows everything. Like,
And
that's like I say that, and that's one of the first 5 things beyond other. That tells me right there that they are getting so many complaints on that.
and
And they're,
why
by the
why are
way, and one of the other top 5 is driver showed up in wrong vehicle. Vehicle doesn't match. So why
see
is that there too? That means that
well
people are
and
going, yo, dude, you got a 2022 expired paper tag.
well and it's funny you say that, because so when I first moved down to Colorado Springs, I was doing some DoorDash, this, that, kind of learned the area and this and that. And I ended up on Fort Carson, pass, and guy lets me in, this and that. And I was in my pickup that night instead of my car, and guy was like, "Oh, I was looking for a Malibu, because so I had a time. I was looking for a Malibu, not the GMC pickup." And I was like, I didn't even realize that they even knew what kind of vehicle I had for a food delivery thing. And honestly, does it really matter what vehicle you're in? I mean, I don't know.
Kind
Maybe
of.
I'm
I mean, it matters if you're waiting for a car and it's not the car.
okay. Well,
because something illegal is happening there if that's happening.
Not
Maybe there's
necessarily. I had
1%
two
of maybe there's
vehicles and I was
1%
in a
of
different
people,
one
but I was gonna say
and I
maybe
didn't
there's
switch
1%
over.
of people, like maybe your car is in the shop and you use your daughter's car or something. And that's
Right.
still not okay, but maybe there's 1% doing that. I think that the fact that they put that as a complaint in AI though is, I mean, because I watch it here all the time. We've been dealing with this here for years. Expired paper
Right.
tags, cops don't pull them over. They won't screw with them at all because our mayor has said don't pull over the illegals.
Well,
It,
right.
it sounds
Don't
horrible,
detain
you
them.
guys, but
Don't.
it's true. It happens. It probably
Right.
happens where a lot of you live too. I don't know if you know that or not, but it's probably happening.
Yeah.
Because I've heard about
So,
it from many people in many states, not just here, but I see it here all the time. And it
right.
makes me wonder things too, like because there's some cars without any tags. What happens in the?
Right.
I don't even know if you have these down in the Springs, but what happens with a photo radar?
Oh, that's a whole nother sore subject.
Because by the way, guys, if you don't have them in your state, we have photo radars everywhere. It pisses me off. We have them
Oh,
all over the place. And I don't know, they used to have warning signs like photo radar coming up and
that'd be
a
100
mile, but
yards.
those are gone now.
That'd be. No, they're
no
supposed to still have
signs.
them.
There's no signs anymore. Not here in Denver. There's no signs. In fact,
Wow.
I
So,
don't know if you're aware of Monaco. You know Monaco
uh-huh.
that
Oh
runs
yeah.
north south through Denver. Okay.
Yep.
There's people's driveways on Monaco, which is a pretty common used street with a divider.
Yep.
But there's people who live on Monaco and some of their parking is literally pull off and just pull to the side and park. But
Right.
there'll be like a group of trees there. They're putting them right on the other side of the trees.
Yeah.
So there's no warning and there's no way to see it. Maybe. But I doubt it. I'm telling you, I don't think that we have a protocol anymore. It might be on the books, like Sean and I are saying. There's supposed to be a sign, but they don't care. They're just not doing it.
I know in Colorado Springs is, but so as another interesting side note, back to legislation, they passed a law now that with the photo radar, it used to be 10 miles or above that they would cite you, and it's a civil, nothing, you don't get any points assessment, so it's not going to affect your insurance or anything. But now it's from anything from 5 miles an hour above, they can now give you a photo radar. Is that just like the biggest bunch of bullshit you ever heard in your life? I mean, they're just trying to beg for ways to generate revenue.
And by the way, Suburban Check, hey Kim, say hi to Mike too for
Agreed.
us. We never see Mike anymore. Send Mike by. But she's talking about Chicago. I hate those. And again, if you guys don't have them in your state, you get them in the mail. You have to pay them, and then it says you don't get points though. You don't get points. Don't worry about it. Just pay it, and it's a low thing.
Right.
Guess what? If you call insurance agents, they pull them up. They have them. They see them. So you might not have got points associated with them, but I before I left Allstate, which I did after I had been with Allstate for 23 years. And
Yeah.
before I left, and it was the same Allstate office. Before I left Allstate just recently here, I was talking to them and I was asking them about, Max's car and some other things. And I happened to be like, I was just curious about some things. And then I said, well, let's look into mine. And she said, well, you've had some tickets. I said, I don't have any points on my record. And she's like, well, let's pull it up. And she pulled it up and she's like, well, I can see photo radar tickets right here. I'm like, but those are no points. And that's not a cop issuing me that. And she goes, we don't use it in the point system against you, but we take it into account against your premium.
No kidding.
She literally told me that. And I was like, seriously? That's bullshit.
Well, and
because by the way, if you guys don't live in the state, I'm not saying do this, but I'm going to start doing this on any of them I get. It's not me. That's a box you can check. Not me.
Right.
Now, obviously, that's a weird thing to say because they could come back to you and go, well, okay, but it's your car. Who was it? And you could just be like, I don't know, dude. What day was it? I just leave it running and anybody that wants to could use it. So I don't know who it was.
And in Colorado Springs, they don't care. It goes to the vehicle anyway. So I don't know how
Yeah.
you take a vehicle to court though. So
Yeah. I mean,
if on a civil penalty,
but I know that you can check that because I had a friend visiting a couple summers back came in for a Red Rock show, and we drove up there in my car. He has been sober for about 15 years, very dear friend of mine. I had a few beers that night, nothing heavy, but of course, let him drive my car home, right? He got a photo radar
Right.
ticket coming back. And when I got it,
Oh,
I just said,
Morrison?
not me.
Yeah.
Like, and again, it just went away. I mean, it didn't, they can't charge you if it's not you.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, I mean, I want to tell you guys, just check not me, even if it is you. Because that's how stupid I think these things are. I think that, and somebody said that there needs to be a sign warning. I feel that there needs to be 3 signs, because if a cop isn't going to issue the tickets, and again, cops, I know Denver cops. Denver cops are actually really good people. I used to work with them at the bar. I had ones that worked with me in the after hours program. So
Yeah,
they'd be in uniform, but they wanted us to do all the work. Like literally, if they had to get involved, they're like, this could mean the bar shutting down for the night because this could be an ordeal. We'll see. But they were cool with like our door guys beating the hell out of somebody, get them outside first, all that kind of stuff. And they'd stand there because they're not on duty and they know us real well. So they'd be like, look, at these guys are sober and I know them. I work with them every Friday. If he's beating the shit out of them outside and it's not in the bar, I'm not going to do a damn thing because I agree with them. That's how they're cool. They know what's up. But they also, since the pandemic, they don't pull anybody over anymore.
No.
The only people they pull over are people with updated license plates and tags that are legit. So you're getting now penalized for doing things the correct way. If you have if you have an expired tag or a paper tag from 5 years ago, they're not going to touch you. If you have no tag, they're not going to pull you over. But if you have a up-to-date tag, they're going to pull you over.
Same thing with photo radar. You got a destroyed paper tag, can't read it, so it's not going to be able to get you. You don't have a tag, it's not going to be able to get you. So yeah, compliance makes
it makes me want to get like a fake tag that is like this and put it over it, know where a photo radar is, and go past it at like 110.
Right.
So they just get one going, fuck you, man. Look this one up.
Right. Number 1.
It's a vanity plate, But honestly, like I'm sick of them. They're everywhere. It's too much.
Well, speaking of sick of them, they're everywhere. I mean, so I got texted you yesterday. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, shit, Steve, I just saw a cyber cab, and it had a driver in it. So it wasn't the official, driverless cyber cab because it had a steering wheel, had a driver in the driver's seat, and then somebody else in the front passenger seat. And so I'm like, what the hell, and it looked like it was unbathed. It was just in really rough shape.
How does somebody know if it's a cyber cab?
Well, it was
does
the
it say
cyber
it on the
cab.
side?
It was the cyber cab. It was yellow. It had the ugly, had the ugly little windshield thing. In fact, actually, I don't know how to do it. I could bring up a picture of it if I, but so I put a post out on Reddit, in the Colorado Springs Reddit, and because it's like that's better than Nextdoor if you want to know something that's going on in your area. So I put a post out that said, "Dave, basically, the cyber cab that's been around in Colorado Springs. We're going to find out this thing has been running around for weeks around here. Now, yesterday was the first time that I saw it, but people and they posted like 5 or 6 different photos for me with it. So
again, guys,
what found out that it's been running around at Aurora.
Trying to get on the PR train. They're like seeing Waymo get all this PR, and they're like, well, let's just go where Waymo is and drive around, because they know that they're not going to get anything yet. They can't like have a steering wheelless vehicle just driving around. Like we're already getting pretty damn close to, we've had it. I've had it. Sean's had it, but the community at whole is getting to where all the other states are. Get this shit out of here. Take your non-working crap and get the fuck out. Excuse my language.
Or
but
prove me,
been a long day.
wrong that it, or prove me wrong that it's a viable option. But everything I look at says you have this problem, you have that problem. I don't care that you just filed Tesla just filed a patent for basically a windshield wiper for the sensors. And that was actually spotted being used up here in Colorado in a couple months ago. But now they think a windshield wiper is going to all of a sudden fix their sensor issues for their cameras. No, that's not going to fix it, because there's heavy rain, heavy snow, mud. Let's see all the road grime and all the other shit that's around here. No, it's
what is this?
still a problem.
Are you saying you
I
think
don't
you saw
know. I
Sean
saw
and I
that.
together in a car? Like, I saw you guys, man. Like, neither of us do have one of those, by the way.
No, I don't.
That's
I don't
pretty
even
weird.
know what that model is.
Maybe that's
I'm not
a
even
joke.
familiar
I don't
with
know.
it.
I was trying to read it and see if it was a joke. But again, guys, I'm coming off
don't
a
know.
hell of a day. It's 7:16 here. I got up at 4:30. I've been up at 4:30 for 3 days in a row. So it's just
But
been
that's
a
okay.
lot.
We're
If
gonna,
it's here's the thing, like sometimes it's a little slow this time of year. It hasn't been. So I'm beating down the doors and working my ass off because I'm taking advantage of it while it is.
it's feast or famine. You gotta get it while the getting's good with it. So, anyways, I don't know if anybody else has seen these things run around, but they're apparently, it's becoming a common reporting. So maybe we'll have to start a
I
Where's
haven't seen
Waldo
one
version
in
of
Denver. I'm
Where's the
out all
Cyber.
day. I'm pretty surprised I haven't seen one in Denver because I see Waymos all day long. All day long. I see,
Right.
no joke, you guys, I see 5 to 10 Waymos a day. I don't know how many we have up here, but man, there's a lot of them.
Right.
And every once in a while, if I'm in that bad mood too, like I always put the window down and I wave at them a little and I yell "fuck you" at them. Always, that's a
Right.
must. That is a must. Make sure that you all do that. Make the person who has that stupid job understand that he is the asshole that he thinks he is, or that he knows he is inside. Make him quit.
There we
That's-
go.
Yeah, I mean it's, but I do, and there's part of me that just wants to put him in the wall. I don't care. Like I just want to put you in the wall, man.
That's not.
Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. I don't really want to do
No.
it. I hope somebody else does.
No one needs to go to jail over a Waymo for damn sure, or a freaking cyber cab.
Well,
There's much more.
yeah, you got. I
important
mean,
things.
there are times when it's worth fighting things for sure. I do believe in that. It's not worth that fight. But there's times when it's worth going, screw you, dude. If you need to put me in jail for that, go ahead.
You know what? Sometimes it feels good to think about it, though.
I'm just saying some
good
of us
stress
have to
reliever.
stand up for the right, because not
Right.
the right side, not the right or left, but we have to stand up for what's right, because if none of us do, they will just decide everything for us.
Absolutely. And that's
So
there's a lot of that going on.
I know we live in a state of fear and everybody's afraid to voice up on some things, but that's why, like Torp had mentioned in a video, he had said, like, if Steve can talk about the real with the legislators, I can talk about the real on YouTube. Well, yeah. And he's saying, because he sticks his neck out there and gets, Luis got threatened, all this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? Some
Right.
of us have to stick up for these things, because if we don't, everybody just overlooks it.
Absolutely.
And so there's sometimes I do want to talk about, we have FYI, there's 3 states with now launched portable benefits plans. We'll get into them next week because I want to be fully prepared for this, and I'm not today. But Utah has SB 233. So Senate Bill 233, it's been in effect since 2023. However, now it's being fully broke down. It's a portable benefits plan that we'll go through. Pennsylvania has a pilot program that began in April of 2024 that is now going to be fully launched before the midterms. And Georgia in January 25 did a 6-month pilot program, which included more than 5,500 DoorDash contractors. Nearly 75% of the respondents who did not already have access to benefits that they wanted or needed gained access to benefits that they would not otherwise have. Now, also, some of these portable benefits are doing matching programs and other things, and you can put money in. You can put your own money into it. And as I've read in most of these, it's really cool. It's not like some of the 401ks or some of the other things where if you touch them early, you're screwed. These portable benefits, the way they're being done, and I know Mike Harubi totally disagrees with this, and him and I have had many conversations, but he's disagreeing with the old portable benefits model. I do think that this is going to be a cool thing. The federal legislation that Senator Bill Cassidy, Tim Scott, and Rand Paul put together, that's in place. And it's which states are, because they basically said every state now has the access to this. But if a lot of people read it and said, yeah, but it says if the company wants to. So I had a lot of people saying, but the company's never going to want to, so it won't happen. I said, well, that's where you're wrong, because that went into place on the federal level so that every state could adopt it. Now they're using it as a threat for the legislation that's coming out. They're saying, well, you got the portable benefits in place, right? And even if they haven't, and they've been like, we're not going to do that. They're like, oh, yeah, we're doing that right now. Like, they're taking notes and going, okay, they're going to hammer us for that one. Because different states want, are demanding different things. A lot of states are demanding these portable benefits come into play. And some kind of matching system for money. But you can also, the coolest thing about the portable benefits that I've read about everywhere is you can access them at any time you want. You don't have to retire. You don't have to be an age. You can say, hey, I need to hit up my portable benefits.
Yeah.
And pull them out. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty big deal. And you were, by the way, I said this on Monday, but you were right, Sean. Delivery Hero still is not taken over by Uber. And they're making a, like you had hostile takeover. And I thought it was a done deal, right. But it might just have to be a hostile takeover. Regardless, it's going to happen. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't understand, because it's going to happen. Delivery Hero doesn't have the process of that. Alive, so.
They're currently in the process of that, because they just, another investor that had like 2%, and don't quote me on the 2%, but a small amount, that they bought all their shares out. And that's what happens during these hostile takeovers. They just keep buying more and more and more. And then finally the company collapses because, it says, okay, the rest of it's yours. But then they'll still have all the regulatory stuff. And I think a lot of that's going to they'll fight about that to begin with anyway, because then they'll become, viewed as a monopoly, because Delivery Hero is the competitor for them, and there won't be any competition. After that. So.
And I don't know if I don't know if everybody saw this, but when we're talking about stolen money and shit like that, I got to say that, did anybody see about this? Instacart put a couple stories out the last few weeks about the problem of shoppers having their kids with them. But then a story hit yesterday where an Instacart shopper, a mom, was like beating on her kid in the store, and she got deactivated. Like, what the hell's going on, dude? Seriously? Like, I haven't seen that happen in a store in a hell of a long time. But I'm one of those people. I'll be like, yo, enough. What are you doing? I don't care if they feel weird in front of their kids. I don't give a shit. You hit your kid in the store, I'm going to say something.
Oh, I thought you had a problem with them.
They have every right to do whatever they feel they want to do to me, but I will retort. You guys all know that's my term. Kidding. I will retort.
If you have a kid or anything, then just I will take you and drag you out. If you have a kid that needs more than that, they're like a dog. If you have a dog that's out of control, leave it at home. I know that sounds horrible, but
the stories that were coming out, my two kids never did any of that crap. Was you can't take your kids. They were saying you can't be doing
You're an
Instacart
independent
with your kids.
contractor.
Yeah, but they're saying that in the terms of service, I don't know Instacarts well enough. I really don't play ball with Instacart. Instacart and I don't. We have a report card that says we don't play well together. So we just don't play.
Right.
I dog on them every chance I get, and you guys know I tweet.
I
I tweet something bad on everything they tweet every chance I get. Anyway, every time I see something, I get in there and they're like, "What do you think about this weekend to let's sell flowers?" And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up and do your job, you piece of shit." And like they leave my comment up, and my comment gets
Right.
more likes on Twitter than their original comment. So they're not
Right.
one of the companies that gets 1,000 likes or something. They'll have like 4 thumbs up. My comment will have like 11. And I
So
think
I
they're
did-
like, I
I
think they
did-
see me. I think they see me as, well, we could block him, but he's getting activity on our tweet.
I did enough Instacart just to say I did Instacart. I did like 4, and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing in the world. I'm not doing this crap. Now Bubba Sue just made a comment that I think I finally connected this because like on Uber, you can have your dog with you. She's right, and you're right, Steve, because it becomes a liability issue while you're under their insurance while you're driving. So I can see where they could have a case to say, no, you can't have another human being with you because they're not insurable. So that makes sense. I can
Well, I mean, like,
subscribe to that.
a lot of the people in this chat know Lou and Mary, Long Island Dash Experience, good friends of this channel's. They shop together and do their videos. They're great people up in Long Island, and they do shops together. And they're not supposed to. You're not supposed to be tag teaming Shipt or Instacart. You're not supposed to be doing
Right.
this stuff. But again, let's go back to the illegals. The illegals on Spark do it all the time. They have somebody,
Right.
they'll come in and hand them phones. Here, shop for this. You shop for this. You shop for this. I'm going to go get the next batch of phones. Like they have the whole scam down.
Right.
And yes, you might be thinking of 10 other scams that we've either talked about or you've seen for yourself. Yes, all those exist too. But we see these every day. I don't know how many of you are keeping all your eyes open to this stuff, but it is apparent as hell here. And I know for a fact from talking to other people, they'll say to me, no, exactly what you're saying I see in my market. And then I'll see some dumbass creator on YouTube say, no, that doesn't happen. And I talked to 3 people in that city who are like, no, it happens here, just the same city as the creator, who said, no, it happens just like you said, dude. What the hell?
Right.
So it makes you think, are these creators even getting outside and doing this, or are they just bullshitting and lying? We know that a lot lie, but it's gotten out of control. I mean, you got to look, everybody knows now. I was even saying it about the lawmakers. There's no more lying to people. You can't say it doesn't exist. That was a thing for a while, but you all need to shut up now because it exists everywhere. Everywhere. It's just the scale of which it exists where you are.
Yeah.
But a fraudulent account could even be your neighbor who you've had for 10 years, who got deactivated and bought a fraudulent account.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be just illegals. That it makes up the illegals make up a huge portion of it, yes. But so
Or
do the
your
fraudulent
neighbor
accounts.
sold their account or is renting their account.
Dude, these days,
Be
for
on the
all
other
I know,
side
the
of
illegals might be buying those. You know, when I was telling you could, like, I was on one of those TikTok lives and I was like, they were like, well, these are 500 a piece, but if you want to buy 6 of them, it's $2,000. Like they were doing deals, right, for the multiple ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, are these guys re-renting these? Because maybe the illegals are now re-renting them to people that got deactivated.
Probably.
I mean, you literally can't make this shit up. And I mean, they're in a big problem. And this is why you guys should feel very good, because all the lawmakers, even the ones who wanted to deny this, who don't want to play ball, who want to still protect the illegals, even though they do nothing but hurt the economy. I know that we've had them since the existence of the country. But I got to say, like, I've said this before, and I want to try and be careful about this, but we've had this since the existence of the country, illegals that come in. We have people that go to school in other countries to be brain surgeons and other things, and they come in the proper way. And it takes them, They might get here in a year, year and a half, but it takes them another 2 to 3 years to become legitimate. But they're here they're here not fully legally working because they have a reason. That's like me in every other country in the world. If I want to go anywhere and stay longer than whatever that country's date is, I've traveled the world doing production. I know this. It depends on the country. Some countries are 30 days. Some of them have even less that you can be in that country if you're not a citizen working.
Right.
And that's just for visiting. I mean, anybody could fly here and visit for as long as you want if you have money. But that's even just for visiting. If I go to Norway, you can only be in Norway for like 25 days. And then it's odd. You can leave and drive into Finland and you can turn right around and come back in. But you have to get your passport stamped again.
And back in your own country.
And it's kind of like Colorado. Like out here in Colorado, we have Colorado land that we can camp on for free. You can camp there. It depends on what county you're in, but you can camp 14 to 21 days. But then if a ranger comes and tags you, which they do, they'll find you and they'll tag you. But if they come back through, it depends where you are, but all you really usually have to do is move your car like 1,000 feet. They're like, you were here 14 days ago. I told you you can only be here 14 days. And you're like, oh, shit. And he's like, just drive up there, could you? Just go like 4 car lengths up, and that's cool. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, like we're the only country at all that when I was saying that people come here for all these legal reasons and they come here in the right way, we have never had the overpouring that we did during the last administration. Anybody who wants to debate that, please feel free to email me. And know this, if you do email me about that, Sean and I will bring your email up. So only email if you want us to discuss it live, because we'll bring your email up and we will talk about it. So feel free to email me on that, because if you want to bring up, well, I'm going to defend this. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I want to hear your defense. I'd love to. Because there is no defense. We can't have this anymore. Everything they're doing is horrible. Horrible. They're wrecking our economies. They're stealing jobs. They're not paying taxes. But the amount of them here is so ridiculous our workforce is shrunk, not grown. We went from 170 million working adults in the country to 150. We have 70 some odd million independent contractors, self-employed freelancers. So only about a little over half are W-2 now. We're literally going through a change of everything. I feel like, we're going through a change even in the way people work.
Well, of course, because now we've got all this AI influence, either good, bad, or indifferent, however you want to look at it, and so then we had the COVID went and changed everybody into a remote worker, and then people still to this day don't want to go back to work, and it's just such a weird world that we're in right now, and I don't know, man, it's a lot going on. But back to your thing about the passports. So something we ought to look into is see where it stands. Is everybody who has a passport, they're saying now, if you want to come back into the country, once your visa expires, you got to go to your country, apply for a new visa, and then come back. That's going to cause a lot of disruption in just the general workforce overall, not just gig work, but I don't know what their short and long-term strategy.
Honestly, I think it depends, because that's been in place for a while. Because David at Para is from China. He's born in China. And he had to, during the pandemic, he had already re-upped his passport once. Or not, wasn't his... He had to go back to China during the pandemic to re-up his passport. He couldn't do it from here.
And I think that there were certain countries but from my understanding now, it's like every country that you're having to do that with. So even if you're like in Canada, you gotta go drive back over to Canada, do it. But I don't know. There's a whole lot of stuff going And I think there are some improvements that are being made, but I think it's also creating a lot more problems along the way too. So who knows? And then by the time they even get close to maybe figuring something out, it'll be a new administration, and we'll just start the same shit show over again.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I'm gonna let's have one more topic. I wanna talk about this AI at Uber because things are going really wrong in these lawsuits that they're under. But let's do it right after a quick break because I don't know if you guys know the Uber Emporium is open nationwide now. This as of this week, every city has one. Guys, go visit your Uber Emporium.
Hey there, folks. Looking for those best deals in town? Come on down to Uber Emporium. We got deals and steals here. Officially forgotten miscellaneous stuff for us, direct from the passenger's back pocket to the seat of a random Uber to you. And we pass the savings on. We got deals and steals. Come on down. Everything's 50% off plus surge. You can pay through the app. Don't worry, you're probably getting charged for it anyways. We do get discounts for Uber Teen out there if you can show that. You have to be. We don't care about unaccompanied minors in this store. Let me tell you. Not that Uber does, anyways. But anyways, let's get to the products here tonight. Today we're featuring candy, boxed and individual. We got this brand new, half-eaten, full box bag of Luden's cough drops right here. Wild cherry flavor, that's the best one. Tastes like candy. I like to rub it on my gums in the morning. Keeps my teeth sharp. Anyways, we'll send you the whole bag. Or if you just want a couple pieces, we can do that. We can make that happen too. We got prescription medication over the counter and under the counter, and alongside the counter. What is this? This is just a box, but this is Tylenol PM, folks. So for those long Uber rides that you're gonna probably forget some more stuff and leave in someone else's Uber, don't worry. This could be yours. It could already been yours. Actually, if you forgot it in an Uber, here's your chance to buy it back. But we got Tylenol and Tylenol PM. Let's see here. That's it for medical stuff. Oh, hey, just this forgotten in an Uber Black SUV, but it was only occupied by one person. And not naming any names, but that person happens to be in a lot of legal trouble in the news. If I mention the name, you might be thinking like, oh, okay, well, yeah, they like to party a little too hard. This is a male urinal. So for those really long trips, this comes in handy. Let's see here. Can we get a close up on that? Yeah, boxed, ready to go. Some cleaning required, but this is a good one. Bathroom safety. It's all about bathroom safety. You don't want to get those cleaning fees for just, whatever the price we're going to let this one go for. Again, everything's 50% off plus surge. Discounts. There's discounts all the time. On the other hand, there's also surge all the time, so it kind of balances out. Anyways, come on down to Uber Emporium. We got everything. Come on down. We'll make a deal. Just call us in the app.
You guys go give Uber Emporium some business, man. It's a great commercial.
I was down there, the new one down Colorado Springs just this last weekend, and ironically, it was some stuff that hit the 10th annual Uber Lost and Found list too. I mean, I went and found me a coffee table, a propane tank, some hunting waders, a child's prosthetic eye. That was the best thing that I found, and it also hit the Uber top 10, the Lost and Found list. So yeah, go check it out, guys. It's a great place to be.
So as we move into this last Uber AI restraint thing, we talked about it a little bit last week, and I talked about it again, but it needs to be talked about. Happened to be that when we went to that commercial, Life of Richard came in and he put this. This is true. This is really, so this is how whacked out thing is.
Yep.
Everybody was coming into this year. Everybody was told AI is going to roll over your job. First of all, I've said it many times. We don't have AI. There is no AI. There's auto-generated. There's There's large language models. There's a lot of stuff that helps you do things at lightning speed, but it comes at a major cost. And that cost,
Right.
they were saying like, okay, yeah, some of the workforce is going to be let go. Here's the problem. I think that they knew the workforce was going to have to be let go, but I don't think it's being replaced by this because the cost of it is, I mean, Uber can't afford it anymore. The president and COO of Uber already pulled the plug for AI for the rest of the year. He said we can't spend anything more on AI this year.
And that 23% was their HR workforce. So what are they doing to support the employees? I guess they care. They're getting to the point where they care as much about their employees as they do the people on both sides of it, the passengers, the drivers, the people having their food delivered, the restaurant. They care about their employees just as much too. It's like, oh, you don't need HR support. We'll just cut 23% of the force.
Right, but so that therein leads is my point. So they're going to cut. They already did it. I saw that article too, by the way, Richard. Like they already did it. I saw it today. Like, and I saw it I think yesterday as well. Like, dude, 23% of the people are cut now, and they were saying how AI was gonna. It's because of AI. Well, it's not because there's no AI budget now.
It's because they burned through their budget and they're trying to pull money from other places to fulfill the rest of their needs.
Exactly.
That's where it's coming from.
But that's the problem.
I
I
mean,
mean, did they not look ahead? I get so thrown by this stuff because I don't understand why anybody's supposed to expect like, oh yeah, AI is going to take these jobs. We don't have AI. AI is fake. They need to come up with a real term. It's just like they should have hybrided the gig economy from traditional independent contractors. But the bottom line is they need to do something. And that 23% that is cut, yeah, those are real people losing real jobs. And the AI that was supposed to replace them, which would have been bad enough, the fake AI, now they can't even afford it. And that's what we've been talking about, because now you have to buy things on these token bases.
Right.
And these tokens are very expensive. And trust me, as odd as it is, even Uber and stuff like that, they don't get deals on this stuff. Because it's power, it's servers, it's all kinds of stuff that it just needs to run. Nobody's getting a break.
And they cancel most of their Claude because their Claude licenses that they had because they were paying too much per month on it because they're like, well, we're out of money. So
right. But so that's happening. There's a thing we'll talk about next week about New Jersey because Kim Cavan's been writing up a storm about it. In fact, I saw an article from Kim today, and I'll bring all of Kim's stuff in next week because there's a lot of shit that's going to go down before next Thursday anyway. But New Jersey and AI and app-based workers, there's an article out, about AI and app-based work are racing to destroy the American middle class. That's what it's titled. And it's kind of right. But again, we don't have AI. Everybody needs to stop this. We don't have AI. Quit putting it. Every other article that you see when you open up any news publication has AI everywhere. There is no AI. Somebody needs to write an article that there is no AI. Every single person is lying to you. There's no AI out there.
Right. They cannot learn and then go and reproduce what it learned.
Says, LLM is just a glorified search engine. That's a perfect example of something I talked about on Monday. I said I have people using ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot or any of them to Google stuff now. Guys, there is a night and day difference between using Google and using an LLM. An LLM is going to be your bitch. It's going to be your sidekick. It's going to say, whatever you say, Steve, let's go make this happen. A Google search is going to produce you results and you have to compare them.
Well,
but an LLM is going to be your partner. If you say, listen, every person in this country needs to be in a union, the LLMs are going to say, let's do it. And they're going to go down the hole with you and find only reasons why it should.
Right.
They're going to be like your buddy who's just supporting you blindly and stupidly.
And even if you prompt it to contradict you, it's still within about 2, 3 more prompts, it's back to agreeing with you and playing cheerleader. It's the
Yeah.
stupidest thing in the world because it
Yeah,
doesn't know
so
how to
it's
disagree or
yeah.
what's up,
What's
Gary?
up, Gary? What's up, Carnifage? What's up, everybody that's joined? Yeah, I mean,
What's up, everybody?
even Life of Richard said the tech corporations is the new Italian mafia. We talked about that last week here. Sean and I support the mafia. We don't support the tech companies. We wish the
Right.
mafia would take control. The mafia ran unions correctly. The government or the
Correct.
private sector can't run a
Doesn't-
union. They don't know how.
Doesn't mean it.
You know, it's gotten so out of control. But then, you know, we have this Massachusetts certifying that they're a union now. They're still not a union. It's in place, but who's in it? Who's paying their dues? Who's getting any kind of benefit? Nobody.
Well, and they don't even
It's
have
just
all
a,
their
it's
cards
just a
signed
story.
yet.
It's a like one day it'll
Yeah.
just be a tale you tell your grandchildren. But there was never really a union during that era. Yeah, it was this whole scam they were pulling on everybody. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a campfire tale that you tell people.
I don't think, yeah, they're not going to get enough cards signed to start up the actual union.
And
That's the
as
bottom
we
line.
discussed, and I'll bring it back up because I did look into it a little more. I really like. I started. We talked about it, but I didn't want to go too far down it because I haven't looked. Now I've looked. How are they going to justify all the illegals? I was trying to think. In these states, they'll find a way.
Yes.
They're not going to be able to find a way. I was looking through this. They're not. You have to have social securities, IDs, things that match. They need to prove it's you. Like, to me, these states that have the worst problems are Massachusetts and California, and yet both of them are the ones pushing the unions. I'm like, why are you doing that? And it may be here. Maybe here's what it is. Maybe this is the political way to save their careers because they know how out of control their states are with 70% illegal migrants.
Okay, well, and there's a whole lot of
Maybe that's their way
conspiracy
of like soft-handed fixing it though. Like, well, we're going to have the unions now. Well, but that's going to screw all of us up. Well, I did everything I could to protect you guys, but we're out now. My hands are tied. I can't
Right.
do anything. It's like a weak sauce way to deal with this.
right. But using illegals to get voting versus using an illegal to get them where you got to put your name, your social security number, your address in there to sign a union card, never going to freaking happen. Because the illegals don't want to be on the radar, and again, you talk about the conspiracies. I believe some of it's true about where, there was a lot of illegals that voted on, behalf of a particular party or whatever, but they're not going to sign a damn union card. They don't want to be on the radar and get potentially, turned over to an agency and then, get deported. So they're never going to get enough signatures in Massachusetts, enough legitimate signatures in Massachusetts to get their union going.
And I still have to question, and Drone even says here, are they again, we go back to the Ford Motor years where the unions actually mattered.
No,
but like
absolutely
he's
not.
saying, like, are they ready to walk out? No, they're not, because I
No.
even question if Uber says, okay, so what, set like 30, 40%, 20% of you want the union. I question if Uber's going to only send the orders to the 80%. People haven't been talking about this, but I seem to think like they're going to love you if you're not in the union. You're going to
Right.
get the preferential treatment if you're not.
Exactly.
Like, I think
mean,
it's going to be
hell-
worse. Like the 3250, everybody thought they were going to get in Massachusetts. Every single person except for maybe Matt, who you know too from Twitter.
Yep.
He does very well. He did well before. He does well now, but he knew that 3250 was bullshit. So that 3250 an hour, they really built that one out more than California as, look, you're going to make 3250. People who were voting thought they were voting for rideshare drivers to make 3250 an hour. It's not what it is. It's active time. And once you do that, it's not just about the dollar amount. You've now actually given more control to the companies than they already had. Because now they're absolutely going to throttle the hell out of you because they don't want as many. Now they have a reason to not want as many on the road because they can charge the customer more. Say, hey, you got to wait. You got to wait. Do you want an Uber Black? We can get you one of those in half the time, but it's twice as much. You know, like they're going to just rip you off. They're going to, if you try and sneak attack legislation, because a lot of the legislation now isn't a sneak attack, but every time they've tried to sneak attack, they get backhanded so hard by these companies that nothing works. It just is what it is. So, you know, I mean, even this, like 95%, 95% of all people on mopeds on DoorDash and Uber Eats are Venezuelan. And I bet you, again, it depends where you are. Some are Venezuelan, though. Some are in other areas. They could be from here, there, or the other, you know? But yes, I agree. Like this is what, and this is, if you guys are familiar with Massachusetts, Governor Healy made Mayor Wu ban mopeds, and not just for delivery drivers, for everybody downtown. Can't use them anymore. So all these people were like, well, how am I going to use my illegal account? Come on, Maura, you're on the side of illegals. You've had our backs forever. I think that, again, that goes to prove kind of what I'm saying. I think she's trying to like bitch walk her way out of this. Like she doesn't want to just come out and go, listen, we got to deal with you illegals now, because she's been a supporter. She has to look like I have your back, but she's gonna, I guarantee you, watch. Over the next few months, we're gonna see, my hands are tied, guys. You're gonna hear a lot of that from Maura bullshit.
Oh yeah. You'll hear from all over.
Right, but especially there in California, because I think that they've been trying to find, how do we, as much as they say they support, they've been trying to find, how do we get out of this mess? We have a real problem.
Because they finally realized
that, out of control.
Right. They realize they have shit in their nest for so long, they have no more room for anything else in there, and then they don't have a shovel even to start getting rid of it. So, yeah, and now they're just like, oh well, you know, that's not my shit, you know, that's in my nest. I didn't create it. Well, yes, you did. You allowed it in there to begin with. So they're screwed, and they're now starting to see the repercussions about what a lot of people were saying over and over.
But I mean, like, and before we shut this down for the night, I guess let's put this to rest, because, like, you know, right here, okay, we have a comment that says many rideshare drivers will capitalize on a strike. Yeah, well, we've seen that with the Instacart stuff, but like in California, what the fuck is a union going to do for you? I've been talking about this a lot. The union reps can't help your pay. They can't, because the Supreme Court solidified Prop 22. It is 120% of minimum wage. That's it. Can no longer be fought. That's for life. They're screwed. So that's that. So your union rep is going to be able to go to the state house in Sacramento. Is that what you're hoping, and change the minimum wage law? Because they have to change the minimum wage for the whole state for you to get more. The deactivations, well, they already have a policy for that, so they can't help you with those either. And then the benefits that were given to Prop 22, those were one of the first things that even the people who thought they wanted Prop 22 in the beginning, those were one of the first things that in the very beginning, a couple people were like, yeah, that helps me. Now everybody's like, dude, those are a total joke. They don't do shit for me. So I want to know, what is your, because it's 10 to 15% is the estimated amount they'll be taking from California drivers. Like, I guess I'm saying, like, if you do get locked and sucked into that, what are you doing? You're struggling now, and now you're going to be struggling 10 to 15% more.
And that's where I was at a loss for words, because that's exactly what I was trying to come up with. Where does it end? Where does the take end? And that's what it all just keeps concluding to. You know, it's like, talk about doing these strikes and this and that. Well, shit, they can't even organize on, you know, one day every year. For how many years, Steve, have they tried to organize? We're going to boycott on February 14th. We're not going to, you know, they can't even do it for a couple hours. Then you get the other drivers and delivery drivers are like, hell yeah, go strike, because then it'll surge and I'm going to go make me some money. Yeah, it's, you know.
Or, I mean, all of us know all of the Instacart strikes that have happened over the last 7 years. Every one of those has had more drivers out that day. than
Right.
any other given day. They're like, because if they even catch, first of all, nobody catches wind of it because the media doesn't
Right.
even report on it. They're like, dude, and I said
No.
this many times, like over the years. If the media drives by and 5 people are striking, they don't stop the van. They just keep driving to the next story. They're not going to even report
Right.
on you. They're like, what? This is
Nope.
it? No.
It is not
So,
even
like,
news.
yeah, and Instacart, they actually, instead of fighting it, they like let it roll as they should, and they actually learned, okay, every time there's a strike, we have more drivers on the platform.
Right.
So you guys are idiots, and it's called a day off. You are simply taking a day off, and nothing
Right.
will be done. I'm not doing doom and gloom because Sean and I always bring
But-
things that can help. But this isn't going to help. You can't strike in
No,
half.
it's a matter of fact what you're saying about it being a day off, because you won't get any back pay, you won't get any future benefit from it. You get a day off, like you just said.
That's it. You get you're taking a day off. I don't know I don't
Right.
even know these days if anybody really believes what they're doing is going to help.
I don't believe they are.
I finally saw the pictures
they're
of
trying
the
to do these things.
Massachusetts when they passed when they said the first union, blah, they were the first union. No, it's not set up. It's not done. It's you got a couple passes, but it's like people were screaming and roaring outside the Capitol. I saw 15 people in a picture. Guys, it was the same old bullshit picture with nobody in it.
Right.
Nobody does this. How are there 15 people out there, but they're trying to like convince you it's a union?
Because it's the organizers.
There's
and they're
200,000
getting
drivers
paid.
in the state. There's 17 outside the Capitol. Sorry, but
Right.
that's nothing. There's nothing happening.
And they're the 17 people that were trying to pull this together, and maybe maybe 10 of them, and then 7 friends or whatever that they persuaded to get a free T-shirt with their protest on it. I don't know.
They do get it is true. Sean is right. They do get free T-shirts because they are always in matching T-shirts.
Right.
A lot of times it's the IDG, the Independent Drivers Guild.
Yep.
I know that they love to hand out those T-shirts. But yeah, I think we can put that one to rest. There's nothing more to say about that. The union and even everybody I talk to, or people that will be in a live stream I'm doing or something, and they hear me talk about it, but they've never heard it before. They'll be like, what? There's gonna be a union? I'm like, no. I'm like, this is just what they're pretending, but it's never gonna be real. And if it is, you guys should definitely, I never tell anybody what to do, but you should definitely move on from gig work because you're gonna lose 10, 15 more percent just for nothing. They're not even gonna be able to provide you a service. Like we said last week, if back in the mafia days, you got hurt on the job on the assembly line at Ford, your family, your house, everything was going to be fine.
Taken care of.
But in a union for rideshare, nothing's going to happen. And you know what? We'll give Legal Rideshare the plug that they deserve because I love giving this one to them. When COVID hit, and I've said this before, but every once in a while it's worth repeating. When COVID hit, Uber said that they would give anybody that got COVID while driving $5,000 if they drove more than 25 active hours in a week, no matter where they were. Guess what? Everybody that got COVID said they needed the money. Uber didn't pay them. Uber didn't pay anybody. They pulled the old Uber move. And in fact, Legal Rideshare paid out as many as they could.
Yep.
That's just bullshit, dude. And Uber, you should, we
yeah.
say this often, but you should be beyond ashamed of yourself. And I mean that is not Uber's biggest investors, not Uber's CEO, not this, that, the other. But if you work at Uber on a high up position, you better realize you are scumbaggery at the highest level. And at some point, we'll make sure all of you are exposed.
Okay.
So get out while you can or make a difference there, because more than Sean and I, but a lot of people are coming for you. And we're going to expose your names. We're going to do all the shit that people don't want ever to happen. It's all going to happen.
As it should.
Yeah. So with that said, guys, I've had a hell of a long week. I appreciate Sean kind of getting this all lined up for us tonight because the show must go on. It absolutely should. But I got to get to bed here again. This has just been a long week for me. And I've just been kicking my ass and making as much money as I can. And I think we're all in that boat. Hopefully everybody's summer is, as you noticed tonight, and every night I don't use numbers, because one week I might say, yeah, I did really good. This week I might say, yeah, I did really good, but they might be totally different. Plus, I view the creators that do that as bragging. And market to market, I always bring up the Lincoln, Nebraska case, because it always is funny to me that somebody emailed me from there and said, dude, you make twice what I make. So like, how the hell? What am I doing wrong? And I was like, nothing, because at the end of the month, you have more money than me. Your
Yeah,
cost
they
of
may be in
living
a
is
whole
less
different
than half
market.
of my your cost of living is less than half of
Right.
mine. So all you have to do is
Yep.
make half of what I make, and you made more.
Right.
It's people just, I mean, really, guys, if you listen to creators that are bullshit, tell them it is time. People are calling them out left and right now. So it is time. Call them out, tell them they're full of shit, and tell them to wake up and do some research and just quit making shit up. With that said, Sean, thank you. Everybody, thank you for joining. And we'll be back next week.
Thanks for
and I
jumping
will
in,
be way
Steve.
more organized. Sean did a great job keeping us on track tonight and helping out while I was trying to rush home. But be safe, be
Anytime.
good to each other, and we'll see you back here next week. Peace, y'all.
Good night, y'all.